distinguished representative of the non-governmental organization Major Group.
Thank you, Your Excellencies and distinguished representatives, and apologies for the brief technical issues. I'm Jessica Bridgers on behalf of the NGO Major Group. 2023 marks the halfway point of the Sustainable Development Agenda. This broad multilateral commitment reflects a laudable attempt to change the paradigm of financing and governance to achieve prosperity, peace, and sustainable world and well-being for people, animals, and other living species. A move toward inclusive and equitable policies would rectify historical wrongs that have placed humans, animals, and Mother Earth at risk. However, due to failures to address structural injustices and a hesitancy by many governments to take ambitious and transformative action, the world is not on track to implement the 2030 Agenda. The UN Secretary General has repeatedly called attention to the mutually reinforcing crises pushing the SDGs out of reach. The rise of undemocratic governments opposing human rights, including sexual and reproductive rights, and the oppression of investigative journalism, civil society, indigenous peoples, and human and environmental rights defenders has undermined the basic objectives of the SDGs. The triple planetary crises of climate change, pollution, and biodiversity loss, in conjunction with rapid unplanned urbanization, threaten the well-being of current and future generations. Besides insufficient efforts to implement the SDGs, Agenda 2030 must contend with an ongoing pandemic prolonged by vaccine inequality, the potential for future pandemics exacerbated by ecological overshoot, and a failure to manage the relationship between humans, animals, and nature through a One Health approach, the crisis of yet another war threatening global efforts towards peace, and growing economic equality around the globe. Looking toward the SDG Summit, we are calling for a 6-year roadmap to SDG implementation by 2030, including milestones and a schedule of deliverables which will ensure concrete commitments and financing, an action plan to move beyond GDP and transform our economic systems to serve the well-being of people and planet, including a commitment to green economies with sustainable production and consumption, care, and education at its heart. Development of a global framework to maintain ecological integrity, strengthen national and international environmental laws, and achieve all UNEA resolutions in a fully integrated manner, as well as the implementation of a One Health approach to safeguard against future pandemic risk. Inclusion of NGOs, including voices from the Global South, and a truly intersectoral inclusive partnerships. Finally, we call for the leadership and commitment for a post-2030 agenda and an accompanying action plan that recognizes regional needs, priorities, and capacities based on a culturally sensitive, fair, and inclusive negotiation process. Thank you.
I thank the distinguished representative of the non-governmental organization Major Group, and I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Fiera Foundation.